Here to kind of talk about it is our panel, Dr. Michael Adams from TSU, Vladimir Davidiak, Republican strategist, and Diana Iza, Mi Familia Vota, talk about remapping, redrawing. There's a lot ahead for folks to take in here.
So much to unpack. Let's start with this election, because there is the past, there's the here and now, and then there's the future with District 18. But let's talk the here and now tonight. What voters are going to the polls for, what they went and voted for today, and that is for the special election. Remind us who they're casting a ballot for. This is a short term.
Yes. This is very important because it's unprecedented in the 18th Congressional District. The voters have been without a representative for almost 8 months. And we had something that's really unusual, and I think the voters are suffering from some fatigue, if you will. We saw the passing away of 2 congresspersons within a 15-month period. And so what we see tonight is a group of young candidates who have political experience. But all that could change after this election because, again, we're waiting on the results in terms of El Paso with the federal district courts, and the maps can change for the March primaries.
I want to follow up real quickly because they've been without representation. Would that be motivation to get them to vote today in this election as well? Do you think they're motivated more so than usual?
Well, it should. However, I think with all of the moving pieces with redistricting, I think that could lead to a lot of confusion. It creates a puzzle. And in many quarters, people could say that waiting so long, that could be an act of voter suppression, if you will.
Diane, I want to ask you a question. For the folks that you deal with, help try and get out to the polls, et cetera, is there a sense of confusion going forward about what's going on in this district?
Absolutely. I think first and foremost, one of the things I do tell a lot of the voters that we speak to is that depending on where you live, the candidates are going to be different. You may not even be voting on Congressional District 18th, right? So it's important. A lot of voters think like, oh, there's a lot of noise, a lot of ads, a lot of movement around this district. But depending on where you live, you may or may not be voting on this race. So it's very important for people, for Houstonians to know that this only concerns people in that district, and so we want to avoid confusion there because the last thing we want is for voters to go to their voting booth and see, oh, I don't see any candidate for Congressional District 18. So making sure that we also make that very clear that it is only for that district as well. And I think breaking it down of why it's so important for us to have congressional representation, and that's one of the things that we are telling folks through text banks, through phone banks, and through knocks on the door is the importance of having someone represent you in DC.
And this has been a Democratic stronghold for decades now, but we do see some Republicans on the ballot in this special election for District 18. Talk about their involvement. Is that looking forward to the future and what's down the line with the possible redrawing of the lines for that district?
Yeah, the redistricting has really served a great purpose in terms of awakening the possibility of turning CD18 into a Republican district. For so long, for many decades, it was completely dominated by Democrat candidates. But the redistricting process made it possible to envision a possibility of having a Republican there. So you have a candidate like Carmen Maria Montiel, who ran a strong race trying to take that seat. But the redistricting process opens up the possibility of those communities being able to select different leadership.
Yeah, we'll see how this is going to play out, especially going forward after all of the legal ramifications and back and forth.